Greetings YouTube, this is Western Kansas Prepper here, and I'm making a video on my SHTF Arsenal, which I just recently was able to make this video because I was missing a gun that I've been waiting on for a long time. I'm going to go over this set of guns in order in terms of caliber, explain why I have each gun and why I feel like it's in my set. Now, I don't intend this to be, exhaustive list of every weapon you might have in SHTF or the ideal arsenal to have. This is simply the minimum set of guns I needed before I felt like I had a baseline acceptable set of firearms for different purposes in SHTF. I may add guns to this collection. There are guns that I would like to add. It's not a priority at this time now. I'm more be prioritizing other topics like food and water and other things. I mean, I have some of those preparations, but I can certainly improve those areas a little more than guns right now. Certainly other people may have different ideas, and you're welcome to debate those on my channel and tell me why my baseline collection isn't good or is. But this is just what I felt like. I felt like I needed to have a well-rounded set of guns that could do every function I needed done. So, starting in terms of caliber, start at the bottom. I've got my Ruger 2245. It's obviously a 22 caliber. This is a gun that, and I'll show I have magazines, for most of these guns. The good point James Wesley Rawls makes is that everybody has a lot of bullets, that's prepping, but not everybody has a lot of magazines. And honestly, I probably need a lot more magazines than what I've got. Probably for every one of these guns you need 10 magazines, really, because those are not going to be easy to come by. And without the good magazine, your gun may be functionally useless, whereas you may be able to get extra ammo. Anyway, I'll have to explain why I have this gun. I have to come back to it, but you have that gun. Next gun is this Kel-Tec P32. This is a dual function gun, as it's not just SHTF. This is my everyday concealed carry weapon. I have it because I got this nice Packmeyer grip on it that helps me to function at the range very well with it. I have it because it's very concealable with the dress clothing I have to wear in my job, and I felt like 32 caliber was the minimum stopping power that I wanted. I have it inside the belt holster. I have it inside the pocket holster. This is the one I actually use on my dress clothes every day. It's just much easier to get around with. I have 2 magazines for it. And all these guns, of course, are unloaded with the slides locked open. Now, is 32 caliber the ideal caliber for SHTF? No, it's not. Would I prefer to have maybe 380? Probably. It's 380 more common than 32, I guess. That's not a big deal to me. In SHTF, it's good to have a more common caliber, of course. But if it's your ultra concealable weapon, you're probably not going to be firing all that much anyway. Probably won't make that much difference. But it's the gun that works the best for me in carry, so I've been encapsulated into this system. Next, I have a 9mm. This is a Glock 19. I feel like everybody should have a Glock in their armory, maybe more than one. If I add more guns, I may add a couple more Glocks. And everybody should have a 9mm because it's the most common round and it's the most common gun. So parts will be accessible, bullets will be accessible. So magazines are interchangeable to some degree. So, and this is the flashlight I keep next to my bed, because this is actually the gun I keep next to my bed at night. It has a Crimson Trace on it. I'm not counting on that Crimson Trace for SHTF because I know the battery may be dead or whatever. I'll have to use the night sights or iron sights or whatever. But like I say, everybody needs this 9mm as part of their weaponry. This here is another 9mm. This is the Kel-Tec PF9. Now, why do I have the PF9? Why don't I use that as my concealed carry? This just is not as concealable in my dress clothes, so I don't use it as my concealed carry. But why do I have it? Well, I have, and by the way, I hate the grip on the PF9. I've shot it a few times. The grip sucks. So I put a Hogue grip on it, which feels a lot better to me. It barely fit. I had to like shrink it or heat it up in hot water before I could slide it over the grip, but it feels a lot better to me now. It feels like blistering up my hand at the range. The only grip I've ever had that did that to me. But I had this PF9 because it's cheap. It's not so cheap that it's a piece of junk, but it's cheap. It's a gun I don't mind throwing away, so to speak, in quotation marks, by putting it in my bug-out bag and forgetting about it, other than taking it to the range every once in a while to practice. So this gun stays in my bug-out bag all the time, except when I'm displaying it for you now and when I take it to the range and do periodic maintenance. Other than that, it's in my bag. I forget about it. If I'm having fun or I'm traveling or whatever, I'm using one of these other pistols. So that's why I have that PF9, and I wanted 9mm because of the commonality, because that's what I'm going to be stocking up on for these two guns. It'll be my most common pistol round. Here's my SIG 229. Why do I have this as an SHTF gun? Because I feel like you need what I would call a battle pistol. A pistol you're real comfortable with shooting, which I am real comfortable with this gun. And I'm real comfortable shooting with it. You know, I can put a nice size pattern, fist type of pattern through a target at 15, 20 yards now with this. I've got several extra magazines with this. Could it be a 45? Yeah, it could be a 45. But that's the kind of thing I think you need. It's a 40, a 45. Could be a 9mm as your combat pistol too. Nothing wrong with that. But you need some gun you're just very comfortable with, that you wouldn't mind needing to put 2,000 rounds through in a battle or a battle or two, and you'd be comfortable with. This is the gun that I feel good about, so that's why I have it. Going into my rifles, sort of. This is the good old Red Ryder BB gun. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be doing any self-defense with this, but handy, I think, to have. It's lever action. Handy for very small animals that you're trying to, rodents and such, small birds you're trying to take down, or protect your garden in SHTF. Jobs that are small enough you don't want to necessarily fire off gunpowder and scare the neighbors or alert the neighbors, that kind of thing. And BB guns are cheap. There's no reason not to have one, They're cheap, so fine, have one, Next, above that is my Ruger 1022. This I have two magazines there, the original factory 10 round, and I have the 25 round, made by Ruger. Now I tried to use a off-brand at first, like I think it's the same one as my 32, but it was this model, Pro Mag. Tried to use the Pro Mag version of this, and it did not function with my Ruger 1022. So I think it's on the newer models they don't work. On the older models I've heard that they do. But you need that 22 to take that small game. Plus it's a 22, so you can buy those bullets by the bucketful, and have a ton of them very cheaply. Very much more so than any other gun I have on this entire floor. So you need a 22, and a rifle's good. And that's why, going back down to my pistol, that's why I have the pistol. Because if you're going to have all that 22 ammo, you may as well be able to shoot two guns with it.